You wake up, put on your Ray-Ban Meta glasses. You're living all in. You realize you need coffee. So you say,
"Hey, Meta, how do I make a latte?"
Brew 2 shots of espresso.
after Meta AI gets you caffeinated, you're ready for some beats.
"Hey, Meta, play hip-hop music."
You head to meet some friends, but can't remember the place.
"Hey, Meta, call Eva."
Ray-Ban Meta glasses, the next generation of AI glasses. Just say, hey, Meta, to harness the power of Meta AI. Shop now at meta.com/smartglasses.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. And now I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free and each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Light up your holidays with Vizio's 65-inch Quantum Smart TV, now just $449.99 at Target. Immerse yourself in a world of over a billion vibrant colors with quantum dot technology. Plus, wide viewing angle ensures everyone gets the perfect view during movie marathons, no matter where they sit. Stream your favorite festive songs from North Pole Radio using the built-in iHeartRadio app. But hurry, this deal won't last much longer. Give the gift of entertainment and get your Vizio 65-inch Quantum Smart TV for just $449.99 at Target today.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to video message number 29.
It's Bob here. I got a question.
I would never do something like that. First of all, I have a girlfriend who I love very much.
Her name is?
Michelle.
Michelle. What she look like?
She's super tall.
I woke up yesterday morning with a spring in my step.
Start later, please.
I could never know what the day was.
Fast forward it.
Listen up, the ratings just came in for last month. We are number one. We just grabbed every key demographic. Super duper, gang. Yeah. Super duper. That's nice. Way to go. Neato, gang.
Yes.
Boy, that was good news.
Power Trip Morning Show. It is Monday, December 23rd, 2024. It's Christmas week. It's Sauce's baby week. It's the Vikings are 13-2 week. It's let's take a couple of days off because everybody else in the building does week. My name's Cory Cove. That's Sauce. That's Zachary Halverson. Good morning,
Let's
guys.
Let's go. Hell yeah. 13-2. It's Christmas Eve. Let's roll. Go Vikes. What a win yesterday.
Oh, you're very excited.
I'm pumped, man. It was great. This is a really good football team. This is a team, after we saw Philly S the bed yesterday, this team could be the number one seed. And even if they aren't, this team can win on the road. I don't care where this team lands. They can win on the road and they can go to the Super Bowl. They are an elite team and they have the best coach in the NFL.
Well, unless something unbelievably weird happens the last 2 weeks, it looks like he is going to win NFL Coach of the Year.
He should, man.
How about the stat, too? He's the first coach in Vikings history to have 2 seasons or more of 13 wins.
That's incredible.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, Bud Grant coached when there wasn't 16 or 17 games.
Yeah.
Was it 14 when he was 14, mostly a coach?
Sir. Yes, sir.
So, pretty hard to win 13 when you only play 14. But, Denny Green obviously got to 15-1.
No excuses.
No excuses.
No.
Even if it's a 12-win season, or 12-game season, you better
win 13.
Sacco's right. Sacco gets it.
Well,
I'm sick and tired of all these people excusing Bud Grant for his incompetency.
Whoa.
Yeah, and true. You can't really rip Bud because Kevin O'Connell wears, like, full coats and pants and... I mean,
the Bud Grant moment at TCF Bank Stadium in that playoff game was one of the most badass moments in Vikings history, and then we missed a 27-yard field goal.
He also got pneumonia and died, though, 3 days later. So, I mean, it wasn't worth it. It was badass, but that's what killed him.
That's the way to go, though.
Don't Google that.
I thought he died like a year ago.
No, he died like 3 days after.
Oh.
Frostbite and pneumonia, I believe.
Man, well, he's still a badass in my book.
Well, I was so worried yesterday because that game I watched on the same TV last night. I've watched 2 football games on that TV. It was the Vikings Seahawks and whatever year that was, and last night. I was worried. I thought.
Wait, did you just try to say that the same TV was going to
1,000%.
What TV were you watching?
Yeah, and were you watching?
You get very irrational when you actually care about a sports team. And
hang on. Where is this magical TV?
Annandale, Minnesota. My grandmother's house.
Oh, I was going to say, your grandmother's house in this place is the only place that still has TVs from that era.
Correct. Well, I mean, it's a nicer, it's probably like a 2011 model. It's high def, but.
So until the Vikings won yesterday.
Yes.
On that TV, they had lost once, and you believed your grandmother's television was cursed.
Why
is it the TV? Why is it not the couch or the walls or the air conditioner?
And beaten Seattle since 2006. There's a lot going against the Vikings yesterday, and they overcame it.
So just to clarify, though, now the TV, you're convinced, is not cursed.
I don't think it is anymore. I think
time will tell, Zachary. Time will tell.
Yeah, maybe exorcised.
Yeah. Oh, good point. Maybe you did exercise.
There's some holy water on it. It's great.
Oh. It was like Fanta?
Yes. No.
Fanta's great.
The Vikings have won 8 straight games. They lost 2 games within, 5 days?
Yep.
And haven't lost since.
They have not.
And that's crazy.
That's crazy. And that was the absolute skies falling when they lost those 2 games, and they've won 8 straight. And they've all been great games. They've all been close games. And they just continue to roll. And we 100% have a situation on our hands of what we're going to do with Sam Darnold, because I don't think you can let him go. I really don't. He's so good. Last night, man, on that final drive where he drove down the field and threw that, which ended up being the game winner to Justin Jefferson, he was hit every time on that drive except for the time he ran out of bounds. He got back up and chucked that ball for that touchdown to JJ. That was badass, man. That guy's a winner. He's one of the better and I know it's we're all pumped because of last night, and we're all excited because they're 13-2. He's a great quarterback. He's super, super, super good, and I don't know how we can just let him walk.
There's a lot that between now and the end of the season that will decide a lot of those factors. It's hard. I mean, I start to get sucked into that whole thought process and what's going to happen. But I'm trying also to just enjoy this season because, again, so much has to happen before we can make a truly educated call on this. Obviously, it's fun to speculate and talk about it, but on one hand, I see your point, but on the other hand, it's like, I don't know. There's just so many things that go into it. But yeah,
you just don't want him to trade JJ McCarthy.
Well, no, I mean, that too.
We get it.
But also, I've been on the let's go to JJ train as much as anyone, but now
we're on the JJ train.
Yes, but now I'm going, man, it's, is this a franchise quarterback that we just stumbled upon for $10 million? And
hey, when you hop on the JJ train, are you the engineer or do you ride in the caboose?
I think dealer's choice.
Wherever you want me, pal. Wherever you want me, pal.
Oh God, now I want to gamble.
When you play blackjack, do you go like to the front of the shoe or the back?
Whoa.
I don't play blackjack anymore. I'm too old.
You're lame.
I don't remember.
100%.
Same. I don't remember the last time I played it either.
No.
You guys, we should get a blackjack table going.
I remember sneaking into Hinckley when I was 16, 17 years old and trying to count cards because I thought it was cool before I realized how rare it is where you actually have a count that big in your favor.
Right.
And I saw that movie 21 about the MIT blackjack team and read the book, Bring It Down the House. And I'm like, I'm going to figure out how to do this. And you realize you got to have like 30 geniuses working in tandem. And you got, there's too many moving parts.
Is that a good movie?
I mean, it's not accurate.
Yeah.
It's not exactly how they did it, but it's close. It's fun. I mean, they obviously had a dramatic effect and shocking. Kevin Spacey's the bad guy.
Yeah.
He's good at playing the bad guy. He really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some awesome roles as the bad guy, right? 7.
He was innocent.
7.
Look it up. Court of Law.
7. American Beauty. Kind of the bad guy in that movie.
Yeah.
Right? Good guy and bad guy. That's a layered role, American Beauty.
Very.
Usual Suspects. House of Cards.
Yeah, House of Cards is incredible.
Yeah. Except for that last season after he was gone.
Oh my God, I didn't even watch.
Just the worst.
Remake it.
Remake it with who?
Remake it with Spacey.
Yes.
Zach's so pro Spacey now.
I'm not pro, but again, they did the court thing and the trial and the jury of his peers, and it was all like he even won the civil suit. He won. He actually won the court trial because he was supposedly, again, whatever. I mean, I know we like to tear people down and stuff.
That's the best part.
It's. I'm just saying. I think we need to rectify some things, and we can start with an actual real season of House of Cards, where we go, oops.
Yeah, there's no turning back that clock. That final season was just terrible.
I never watched it.
And we'll just say it was all a dream of Claire's.
Oh boy, not the dream trick.
No. Oh,
so
Claire.
The Kansas City Chiefs played on Saturday.
Yes,
they play in 2 days. They play on Christmas Day. That sucks for them.
That really blows.
Yeah. But
at this point in the year, I know that's that's the same as playing a Sunday Thursday game. I get that part of it, but still, it does suck this time of the year to have to turn it around and play a Wednesday Christmas Day game.
When they announced it, it was like, the cool Christmas novelty Christmas Day thing. I didn't think about the Wednesday part until like yesterday. I was like, that's 3 days from now.
Yeah, but they do get that mini bye week at the end of the year, which I bet every team would opt into at this point.
Yeah, maybe not with a banged up quarterback, though.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, is he?
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
we'll see.
And they're gonna win out. Well, I don't know. At Pittsburgh might be tough.
They'll find a way.
Yeah, they'll find a way. They always do. Yeah, that's why they're the champs, right? They're no longer the champs when somebody knocks them out. Nobody's knocked them out yet.
So, did you guys find yourself on Saturday skipping the NFL games because you were locked onto the college football playoff bracket, or the opposite? Which way did you lean, college football or pro?
Pro, because all the college games were terrible.
Okay, but true. But did you start on college football and then realize this game's out of control, so I'm leaving?
No, because the Chiefs are always must watch TV, and at that point, Penn State was destroying SMU, and then the second game was the Steelers and the Ravens, and I think that was during Texas and Clemson, and that wasn't close much. So no, I mostly watched the NFL. I did watch a lot of the Tennessee-Ohio State game, and then the Wolves until they collapsed. They're in an absolute free fall, just like the Wild. But to answer your question, I watched the NFL. You?
So hang on. So because the Chiefs are must-see TV?
Yeah.
A day and a half ago, you tweeted, "I'm so tired of the Chiefs."
But I like watching the NFL.
Oh, got it. I also leaned towards college football, but all the games were boring.
Yeah.
But that's fine. There are times that the first round of the NCAA tournament or the second round of the NCAA tournament are boring because the top seeds win by 30.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean it's wrong. I saw people on Twitter going, "This is why we only needed 4." Are you nuts?
No. Make it 25.
You got to make it 16 teams eventually. But for now, just because the games this weekend weren't close doesn't mean this is the wrong format. That's ridiculously illogical. The whole beauty of it is when a number 1 or number 2 or number 3 seed in the future is on the ropes or eventually loses. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Right? We just had a whole bunch of teams that got outplayed and outmatched this weekend. Still love that we're at 12.
Of course. Yeah, it was still great.
Yeah. We need 4 more. I don't like teams that have buys.
No.
I don't want the 4 teams to just sit there.
Everybody should play.
Yeah. In college football, everybody should play.
Yeah. Right.
Especially since they do that in the other ranks, the FCS, like it's done. In fact, I think FCS has is it more than 16 teams that
I have zero idea.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And by the way, that was a good game, SDSU versus NDSU.
Yeah, that was a good game. Yeah.
So
NDSU won, right?
Yes, and they are moving on to Texas for the.
But again, the first 2 rounds, I should say, so the first 4 days of the NCAA tournament are better than the final 4. Right? The first weekend's better than the final weekend. So I actually would care more about if Oregon was taking on the 16th ranked team in the country. I think I would care more about that even than the national championship. I watched the national championship, but I want to see the upset.
Right.
The monster upset, not the minor upset. Like, all right, the third team in the country beats the number 1 or 2 seed. Okay, whatever.
Right. And to your point, that's what makes the NCAA tournament so great, is the upset. and you don't get the upset if the top seeds aren't playing.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? Speaking of weird week, since we have some people out of the country, like John Bonus. John Bonus is in Australia, so he's not going to be here tomorrow. Out of the continent as well. That is true. Out of the hemisphere.
Which, by the way, why does Australia get to be its own continent, too? Own continent, own country?
That's a good question.
And like,
ask ChatGPT.
And that's fine if you want to make it its own continent, but give it a different name. Why doesn't it, Australia is just, I don't know. It's too easy.
Did not know that was going to trigger you.
It's always bugged me.
So Bonus is in Australia, but again, we're off tomorrow anyway, so that doesn't necessarily matter. But Chris is off this week until Friday. You're off starting on Friday because it's baby time.
You are correct, sir.
But Lieber, I believe, is off of Twin Cities Live for maybe a handful of days, so he's not coming until 7 today.
Yeah,
normally gets here about
6:30. 7 to 9.
7 to 9, exactly. So he gets to come in a little bit later and stay the whole way.
Yeah, and Mussy will be here. Yeah,
Mussy will be here.
Yeah. No Maxo because he's got to do, I think, Common and Barrero's shift.
Okay. Either way. We do Front Page Sports at 6. Like I said, Ben Lieber will be here at 7. We'll absolutely pepper you with Viking stuff throughout the rest of the show. This is the Power Trim Morning Show on The Fan.
The Fan. How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo! Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
The Power begins at 8 a.m. It's presented by Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Watch it at KFAN.com/watch.
You went to Swartzen last night?
Yeah, man.
First Avenue?
Yeah, it was excellent. He was hysterical. The crowd was electric. It was amazing.
What's comedy at First Avenue like?
It was sweet, dude. It's
they had people upstairs, too?
Yeah. They had people all over. It was packed, sold out. It was just he was incredible. The guy that opened for him was sweet. But yeah, Nick came on, did a couple of things about. I've never been part of recording. It was a special that I think he's going to release. That he is going to release, and he did an awesome job. His ending bit is one of the funniest ending bits I've ever seen. He did a couple of Norm jokes that Zach always heard before that were just great. He's just a killer, man. The whole crowd loved it. It was one of the most crowded I've seen First Ave on a Sunday night. It was sweet, dude. He was very, very, very funny. And
how many times in the history? We'll get to Rosie in a second. But how many times in the history of First Avenue have they had stand-up comedy? Is that pretty rare?
Chappelle's been there, right?
Nope.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
I think maybe back in the day, but not recent.
Man, that's a good question. But our gal Sonia was there. She's A+.
She's the best.
Yeah, she's the best.
Rosie was there.
Rosie was there. Had a table reserved for him.
Chad Daniels. Oh, never mind.
But yeah, it's epic, and I'm proud of my good friend. And he did a great job. He was super funny. But yeah, Rosie had a table reserved. I even took a picture of it so we can rip him for it.
David Cross has played there.
Has Louis C.K. done it? Why do I feel like C.K.'s done First Avenue?
You're right. I think he has.
You were about to say Chad Daniels, but Chad is not.
He was at one of the other places that they own.
Oh, yeah.
Or run or operate.
Kelsey Cook and Chad Daniels playing initials on Friday.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah, because you're having a baby on Friday.
I am.
Not you yourself. Not. Kelly is.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we...
Unless it shows up on Christmas.
Maybe. Then we'd have 3 Christmas babies with the Power Trip.
Do you know the 27th was my due date?
Oh, really?
How would we know that?
How would we know that? Hello.
Look at my Wikipedia page. It says it.
Cory, did you know August 10th was mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, see. He knows me well, yeah.
Mine was supposed to be January 1st.
But you happened to be born on Earth Day.
Yeah, I was
you were born
way overdue.
You were way late.
Way overdue.
Your poor mother.
So you were born 8 months late, not 4 months early.
No, 4 months late.
4 months late.
Mm-hmm. I needed a cook in there,
Yeah.
Fully baked.
Yeah.
Not half baked.
Yeah, so.
The Vikings play Sunday against the Packers, correct?
Which I don't know why that is still at noon.
But how great is it that your son, right out of the chute, first game, Vikes Pack.
Yeah.
He has to pick game one, mom or dad.
Yeah, and we
right off the bat.
We have put together the hospital bag, and we have multiple Vikings or Packer outfits, and somebody
who gets to decide?
Right. I don't know. Probably his mother.
Well,
but,
I think she's going to pick the green and gold.
I don't know. She's quietly a Vikings fan, not like her mom. Her mom is a diehard Packer fan that does not cheer for the Vikings and wants the worst for the Vikings. But yeah, we have multiple Vikings and Packers outfits. Somebody got us a pair of Vikings and Packers pair of pants that one side's Vikings, one side's Packers. So we're gonna, I don't know, it'll be great. I thought that game would be moved to 3. Isn't that what we heard?
That's what I was.
I don't. How is that game still at noon? Is it because the stupid Cowboys play?
Well, and the thing is, like, if they would have announced that, like, today, it would have made a little bit more sense because the Cowboys won yesterday, and I think they're still alive right now.
No, they're mathematically out.
So why the? Whoa. Why?
Because it's the Eagles and the Cowboys. Because the Cowboys are
still
always
a big draw.
Yeah,
I know, but man, how lame will that be? And it was just like yesterday. It's like, here's Buffalo and New England for most of the country. They don't want to watch. And I know why that happened too. Fox just didn't want to budge, but.
Well, I don't. Obviously, Sacco, you would know this better than me, right? The Vikings are on at noon. They play on Fox. The only 3 o'clock Fox game is the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Yeah.
Even if the Cowboys were 2-14 or whatever, and the Eagles were 3-12, they wouldn't move that, would they?
I mean,
they don't even They don't even go away from Cowboys games when they're when one side is dominating.
It does hurt the fact that it is Minnesota and Green Bay, because those are definitely 2 smaller markets, especially compared to Philly and Dallas. But man, I mean, you could have, and I don't know how this works exactly, but you could have moved that to 4:25 and then
blaze it.
Played Eastern, obviously, and played Cowboys Eagles at 3:05 local time.
Right.
And then they could still have had those markets, but had a much better, more consequential game. But I guess we're learning this year more is just markets over, matchup at this point. Which is it's a shame because I mean the game like next week should have a little bit more of a bigger field than a noon start on a Sunday. But
right, 11-4 and 13-2 should not be at noon. But I heard there was dialogue. They were moving it.
Oh, there was dialogue. I mean, market 15, which is us, versus market 220,000 for Green Bay.
But the Packers are a national draw.
You'd think so.
They're always on Monday, and they're on Monday
Zach's
Night Football
grandma's
tonight.
TV is cursed, so why do we care?
Good point.
Well, no, not anymore. I told you
that was a one-game curse.
You exercised it?
Yesterday, though, the Vikings won 27-24 over the Seahawks. That was the last game Sauce ever gets to watch without being a dad.
Right.
From now on, it's dad time.
I can't wait, man.
Let's go. This is crunch time, man.
Should you decide the fandom of your child based on the result of Sunday's game?
Well, I'll tell you this much.
Leave it up to the football gods. Don't let mom or dad choose. Whoever wins on Sunday, that's the team he has to cheer for the rest of his life.
Wow. Okay. Let's leave it up to that. That's fine. Then when he becomes a young man, he can watch the games by himself. If he's going to cheer for here's in our house, because we are a house divided, as people like to call it, even though it's football and who in the grand scheme of things cares. I don't cheer against the Packers. I try not to.
Come on.
I don't. I try. I mean, they play a JV game tonight.
You quietly cheer against
them.
Of
course, in my head, but not out loud. I don't.
Well, it's.
Somebody on Twitter, Joe on Twitter, said that they said yesterday the NFL has until tomorrow to move it to the game of the week. But I just don't. I don't think they'll move the Cowboys and Eagles. They're definitely not going to make the Cowboys and Eagles a noon game.
Well, I just remember, too, and I could be wrong, and Joe might be right, and Joe Mantel, hopefully you are right, but
would you?
When they announced, sure. When they announced, when they have the full screen graphic with all the whole slate of games, usually, and they advertise the Vikings-Packers game as kind of the featured noon game, that tells me that they're not going to move it, but they can. I would still think they could.
I'd rather have it at noon. Let's just get it over with. I don't want to sit around all day and wait for the Vikings.
Cory, you're the last person they're going to take into account.
No, I'd rather have it at
the best time.
I'd rather have it at 3 because I want
no overtime.
Yeah, and I won't be there anyway.
Okay, I suppose.
Well, that is correct too, though. If it were a normal week, I would want it at 3 because I don't want to do overtime. But I want it at 3 because the quicker my son shows up this weekend, the quicker we can go home and the quicker we can watch it. And if you put it at 3,
you'll be home by Sunday.
I hope.
Unless there's complications, but otherwise you'll be out of there in 24 hours.
Yeah, that'll be great. Either way, I'm going to be a dad this time a week from today. That's weird to say out loud. I just said it out loud. But I learned from a lot of great dads. Hockey, Corliss, Zacho's a daddy.
Peter.
No. I mean, Peter, his 3 girls have turned out to be wonderful. He is a really good dad. He's a terrible uncle.
Well, not if you want to, learn about great 80s movies. He's one of the best.
Yeah. And if you want him to swear in front of children, he's even better at that.
I mean, who took you to see Major League?
He, over the weekend, and I know I deserve this because I text a lot of nonsense, especially to my buddy Spinny He texted me over the weekend every single line from Christmas Vacation.
What do you mean every single line?
Like he
took he just looked up the script online and actually went line for line?
Let me see if I can find it. How many
lines at a time, though? Not one at a time. That would take forever.
That
would be a great bit.
I was so pissed.
Do a family table read of a Christmas movie this year.
Here we go. If I woke up with my head sewn to the carpet, I wouldn't be more surprised. That's a honey of a tree, Clark. Can I fill your eggnog, take you out to the middle of nowhere, leave you for dead? No, I'm just fine right here, Clark. And don't you go falling in love with that tree the RV next year because we take it with us next month. Put it, just the same over and over and over again. For hours.
I love that.
Did he have a couple or?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. He works at Loose Line Brewery where your game's going to be soon.
Yeah, pretty soon.
Yeah, man. Are you going to go? Because I'll go if you'll go. I'll even bring Xavier
Woods
Lambert.
Z?
III.
You're bringing Z?
Yeah, I'll bring Z.
And I wonder how you would do.
I would play.
I'm just saying, you normally do really well at this one. I wonder how you would do on that one.
And I already know what my team name's going to be. Kevin O'Connor.
Inside jokes.
I love how you both just go.
Because we all heard it.
Yep.
Yeah. Sure did.
Yeah.
Front Page Sports is next. Power Trip Morning Show on The Fan.
The Fan.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Time now for Front Page Sports, presented by Holiday Station Stores.
Holiday Station Stores, buy two, get one free for a limited time. When it comes to Monster 16 ounces, I went green today. So I think I'm just kind of tasting the rainbow, right?
Yeah, man.
Purple last week, white last week. I'm on green today. I got one of the orange ones in the fridge. I'm sure it'll be stolen. Actually, nobody's working this week.
No.
This is the 1 week it'll probably be safe.
Yeah.
But buy two, get one free for a limited time at Holiday. Thanks, Holiday. The Vikings beat the Seattle Seahawks 27-24. The Vikings up to 13-2. Seahawks 8-7. That is 8 straight wins for the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson, a season high 144 yards. He also had 2 touchdowns, including the game winner. Jordan Addison had a touchdown as well, 5 catches, 35 yards. Andrew Van Ginkel, 2 sacks, the only 2 sacks by Minnesota, but they both were gigantic. We had a couple of interceptions, one by Dallas Turner And then the clincher by Theo Jackson. It looked like Geno Smith was pissed that the receiver broke off.
Yeah, it was DK too, yeah.
So I know the gut instinct was like, oh man, bad pass by Geno. But Geno looked pretty pissed that he got hung out to dry. So I have no idea. Whenever that happens, either the quarterback made the wrong throw or the wide receiver didn't take the wrong route, right? It's one of the two, because that was not even close to where apparently DK was going. But anyway, advantage Theo Jackson. That locks it up for the Minnesota Vikings. I mentioned the 2 sacks by Andrew Van Ginkel. How about this? I didn't know this was as rare as this is. Andrew Van Ginkel and Grenard, the 2 big free agents, both now have 10-plus sacks. That is just the 12th time in team history we've had a duo go over 10, and just the 4th time since 2000. So that's how infrequent it is, right? That's 24 years. It's only happened 4 times.
Think about it, too. So you said it's the first time since 2000?
No, 4th time since 2000.
Okay, so it had to have been Ray Edwards and Jared Allen.
Probably.
I would bet Jared Allen and whoever else. I bet maybe they did it a couple of times. Because Jared Allen I think he had double digits every year that he was here.
I'm sure Daniil got 10-plus along with somebody. Either way. Yeah. But the fact that it's only happened 12 times in team history and 4 times since 2000, it's hard to get 2 guys with both 10 sacks or more. But 2 of the guys that did it this year are free agents, Andrew Van Ginkel, and our Tuesday guest, although I believe he's off this week.
Yeah, because we are,
Jonathan Grenard.
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
They're both great, man. And Jonathan Grenard had multiple plays that won't show up on. I mean, he had one play. I forgot. I think he got the running back on a loss when he doubled back and knew exactly what the play was. He's just so cerebral when he's playing football. He's such a good player. And the defense got a little gash, but I think it was also because they were worn out, because the offense played great, but the offense also had a stretch where I think they went 3 and out 3 straight times in the second half, and that'll put a lot of pressure on a defense. And other than that, it was just it was great. 13 and 2 is A+.
Isn't it so weird that at this point in 1998 the Vikings were 14-1,
right?
So just 1 game better, but that team felt like they could beat an all-star team of NFL Hall of Famers. And this team feels like they can grind it out and beat you by 3. It's weird that 1 game feels gigantically different. Like, I would bet my house that the 98 team would beat this team.
Yeah.
But the record is 1 game different. That's how good this team is.
So what you're saying, for 80s, 90s movie references, the 98 Vikings could beat the team that gets off the bus in Necessary Roughness. Is that the right movie?
I think you're thinking of The Longest Yard.
No, but remember in Necessary Roughness?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like all those all-stars. Yeah, that's what I meant.
I forgot about that scene. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And great film, by the way.
I didn't do this because I just thought of it 10 seconds ago. I wonder what the average margin of victory was in those 14 games, though, in 1998 versus the average margin of victory in this year's team. You're not actually going to try to Google that, are you?
Yeah.
That's going to take you 15 minutes.
No, I got... okay. Oh, God. They have to start with that. Okay, week 1.
Oh, my God. See, this is what I was saying. We don't have time to go through all of them.
Week 1, they beat Tampa 31-7. They beat the Rams.
This is 98?
98. Are you writing it down?
You want me to write all this down?
We don't have to. I'm just telling you.
Oh, my God. Go ahead.
The Rams, they beat...
I got it.
38-30.
You already found it. Zach already found it. See?
16.25.
That's the average margin of victory?
Yeah.
Man, they murdered
And what's the average for this year? Well, most of them are 1-score wins, right outside of the Texans game, really. So my guess is their average margin of victory is closer to 6.
Sure.
Ish.
So
somebody figure that number out. That would be my guess, though.
I don't remember this at all. But do you remember in 1998 when they beat Washington 41-7?
No, but I don't remember. In my mind, every game was 41-7.
And then the following week, they beat Detroit 34-13.
Yeah, and then the week after that, they beat Tampa Bay 96-6.
No, they actually lost to Tampa. They beat Cincinnati 24-3. Man, they just murdered people.
Did you just say they won 24-something?
They beat the Bengals 24-3.
They had an off game.
Yeah, they did.
So they won by 21, and they had an off game. That team was the best.
And they were in Week 13 against Dallas, Thanksgiving, they won 46-36. The next week, they beat Chicago 48-22. The week after that, they beat the Ravens 38-28. The week after that, they beat Jacksonville 50-10.
A couple of the games you just named are 10-point wins, and that feels too close for the 98 team.
They beat Jacksonville by 40.
It's two things. It's two things. The 98 team, like we've said forever, Sauce, it didn't matter if it was 3rd and 18. It always felt like we were going to get the first down always, right? It never felt like a first down was not gettable. We've had a little bit of that this year, but in 98, it felt like it was inevitable, like Thanos. And it did feel like the margin of victory was just significantly more in 98. However, what happened to the 98 team, especially in the playoffs?
We lost.
Injuries, right?
Yeah.
Anybody that wants to go back and go like, well, even if we had made it there, man, we would have been just on like one leg the rest of the way. This is the one thing that is going to be the advantage of this Minnesota Vikings squad. Sure, we didn't have Harrison Smith yesterday, but the Lions are decimated and they're 13-2. The Vikings are overwhelmingly healthy. Darisaw is the big one. Otherwise, pretty freaking healthy.
Darisaw is the big one, and they've replaced him with a very good left tackle. That is the move of the during the season. The way Kwesi pulled that off with finding a guy who wasn't even playing in Jacksonville, traded for him and brought him in here, and he hasn't missed a beat, man.
How is Kwesi so good at free agency and so bad at the draft?
Correct. But
it's unbelievable. He's killing it in free agency.
I mean, the Sam Darnold pick alone, the Sam Darnold free agent pickup alone, the stat you just read that the two guys they brought in have double-digit sacks, right? The 4th time since 2000.
And that doesn't even count, obviously, the impact Cashman's had.
Correct.
His stats are awesome, and he missed a bunch of games as well.
And he missed a blatant interception yesterday, and if it was a spear, he'd be dead. But copyright.
I think the ball getting tipped threw off his whole vibe. I think that it looked like his eyes came off the ball because it got tipped. That was a strange drop for Blake.
But
we won.
We won. And that's another guy they picked up. And the weirdest part of this offseason is the pieces they could put around this team if they let Sam walk, or the money they would have to spend on Sam. I mean, this team, they need a couple of pieces, man. And I don't think Sam, as we've talked about, Sam is not going to take a sweetheart deal because it's probably the only time in his life he'll be able to get a massive contract.
Yeah, he shouldn't. He should take the biggest possible deal wherever he can get it.
Right.
Zach, were both of your hands up?
Yes. How much did Sam get paid this year?
$10 million.
Well, that's about what the average margin of victory for the Vikings this year is. 10.15.
Is it really?
Is it really?
Well, they won week 1 by 12, and they won the next week 6, and then they won 34-7.
Yeah, that was the big one. That was
People
the Texans.
forget that.
Yeah, they killed the Texans. The Texans are kind of like like Miami. They only beat bad teams.
Yeah,
they hung on to beat Green Bay. They beat the Jets by 6.
We ended up crushing Atlanta and Chicago.
We lost to the Lions by 2. Man, what a difference! I'm telling you, if the Vikings game in LA was on a Sunday, this team would be 14-1.
I agree.
They just got beat up by that Lions team. That's how important, I know,
and if Sam finds JJ on 3rd down, the Vikings beat the Lions as well. So, I mean, we're not that far away from being undefeated. But because KOC dominates in one-score games, we're also about 5 different plays away from being, I don't know.
You are correct.
What do we got? 15 games so far? So 9-6. Right? A couple of games go the other way, and it looks much worse. It's so weird how everything went right in his first year in one-score games. Nothing went right last year in one-score games.
And his quarterback.
And now everything's going right in one-score games again. Super streaky. But like I said, what a crazy stat that KOC is the first coach in Vikings history with 2 13-win seasons, and he's done it in his first 3 years.
Incredible.
Pretty big start for KOC, who, again, overwhelmingly likely now is going to win NFL Coach of the Year unless something crazily strange happens in these last 2 games. I mean, if they get blown out by 30 in both of them, then that probably hurts his cause. But otherwise, it looks like he's going to get it.
They aren't going to get blown up by the Pack.
I have a question.
Yes, Zach?
So I did all that with the help of our AI called Copilot. That's what our company's system is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it weird to me that I said thank? I reply because you just basically have a chat. And I just gave them the info and whatever, and they responded. Is it weird that I said thank you to a computer?
Yeah.
I just responded thank you.
Hey, two things.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay.
Zach,
but manners go a long way.
You are very good on the internet. That's a compliment. You're very good on the internet.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, your cam shows are outstanding. I mean...
Wow.
And two...
Are you the Big Tipper 69?
No.
Oh. Well, thank you to the Big Tipper 69.
He's the Little Dipper 69. I have a hardcore sports question for both of you when we come back.
God.
Let's go. But I want your honest answer. That's it. Then we can move on and do what really matters, which will be Christmas facts.
What?
FACTS. Okay, we should have just taken the whole week off.
We really should have.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
All right, we're going to do what really matters. But you said you have a serious sports question and you want our honest answer.
I want your honest answer.
I feel like I want to just lie.
I spent the entire break coming up with about 5-6 different lies, but for you, Sauce, I'll tell the truth.
Is this a 15-minute conversation or 15-second conversation?
Depends, and I would like Muss and Lieber's opinion, but we can get that when they get here because I'm sure they're both listening. We got to be serious here.
Straighten up, Zach.
He can't. If you
do the best you can.
How many current NFL coaches would you take over KOC?
15. No, that's a lie.
That's a lie.
So can I kind of skip out and sneak out of your question with an answer that's a half non-answer?
Sure.
And let me circle back to my guy, Brock Purdy. Here's how I'll answer your Kevin O'Connell. 2 L's at the end, brother. Oh yeah, 2 L's at the end. Here's how I'll answer that question. I think in the NFL, and this is where I always stood with Kirk Cousins as well. I think you only can win if you have a quarterback that is good enough to win the whole thing. There's about 15 or 16 quarterbacks that I think can win a Super Bowl. The rest of them, you'd have to have the craziest combination of things go right to win enough games to get into the postseason and then have enough things go right in those postseason games to actually win a Super Bowl. So I think there's about 15 or 16 guys. When Kirk was here, I think he was one of them, right? The rest of it didn't line up. And part of that is on him in the playoffs. But still, I think he's good enough. Same thing with Brock Purdy. Do I think Brock Purdy's the best quarterback in the world? Absolutely not. I think you can win with Brock Purdy. You got to win the SEC title game. You got to a Super Bowl. This year has been rough, but still. Anyway, that's my point is once you know you have a guy, you got to do everything you can to say, this is our guy. We're keeping him. That's where I feel O'Connell is I think there's about, 12 or 15 really, really good coaches in the NFL. He's one of them. That's all you need. Could we sit here and pick and choose between who would you rather have, Tomlin or KOC, and compare and contrast their salaries and their pedigree and this? Sure, but can you win a Super Bowl with Mike Tomlin? Yes or no? Clearly, right? He has.
Yeah.
I think you can win a Super Bowl with Kevin O'Connell. I think you can win a Super Bowl with Shanahan, with Harbaugh. Like there's about half the league where I'm like, yep, Dan Campbell's good enough to win a Super Bowl. These guys are good enough. I think we have a Super Bowl caliber coach. Actually, I think the more interesting question, again, do you believe now Sam Darnold is officially a guy that is capable of winning a Super Bowl? I think he is.
I think he is, yeah.
I think he's in that group, too. Because this year, he's clearly playing like a top 15 or 16 quarterback. Do we think it's going to hold beyond this year? If that's the case, and your whole point about not letting him go is pretty tough, because we have no guarantee that JJ's in that 15 or 16 conversation.
I mean, this is Zach, 1 second, then we'll get your bit. This is another thing we're going to have to talk a lot about this offseason is if let's say you can get Sam for like let's say it's like a 2-year deal with a 3rd-year option, just for radio purposes. You have to trade McCarthy, right? You can't let McCarthy possibly sit for 4 years, can you?
Well, I mean, that's what the Packers have done twice, and it's worked, but that's also the exception, not the rule. That's that's the unicorn.
Right.
And also you would have a panic situation too, right? It's if you sign Darnold to a big deal, well, then what happens after 6 games if Sam's struggling? Then what do you do for the next 2.5 years when JJ's ready and healthy? Well, that's the problem, right? And the whole point, the benefit of having Brock Purdy on a rookie deal or JJ McCarthy on a rookie deal is that you can afford all these other guys.
Right.
Brock's going to get paid next year. If you pay Sam next year, we have a lot of guys in the secondary that we either have to pay or find expensive replacements for.
Well, let me
My guess is Gilmore's not coming back. That $10 million is going to come off.
Let me ask you this.
He drives me nuts.
He had a really good play when he kind of sagged off the coverage and then jumped in front of that pass. But multiple times he just kind of looked disinterested. He's good. I mean, they won. He's good enough to play, obviously. But they didn't really miss a beat when he wasn't in. But you'd still rather have him than not have him. Let me ask you this question as we continue the sports talk.
This is hot.
If you decided, if let's say we, and it's we because we're the Vikings radio station, if they go or get to the NFC Championship game and either win it or don't, and you have a Sam Darnold that he is the reason you're in that situation, and you say, we have been looking for a guy like this, he's 27, and if you want a really good breakdown of this, it's Paul Charchian, who about 13 months ago said it was the worst move they ever made, and he's completely done a 180. You should read, he has a very good breakdown of it. Anyway, if you say, all right, we'll sign Sam Darnold to a 3-year deal, $30 million a year, like the Baker Mayfield bit, and you call up good old Las Vegas, who does not have a quarterback, and they have the 6th overall pick, would you trade J.J. McCarthy for the 6th overall pick? Because there is one of the pieces you could fill, right? You could get the top. I mean, I don't think you get Travis Hunter. I think he'll be the number 1 pick. But you could get the top offensive lineman. You could get the best defensive tackle. You could get Mason Graham from Michigan, who's a stud defensive tackle. There's a piece you could fill with that at a young, cheap price. Just an observation, just a thought. Because we're in that territory now. You can't just let Sam Darnold walk away for nothing. He's too good of a quarterback. He's the reason you're in this situation.
What about the opposite that I've seen other people speculate on, that you tag him and then trade him?
I've seen that, yeah.
Because then
is that a transitional tag? Is that what that's called?
Don't know how that works. Either way, but my point is you could do the exact same thing you just suggested, but just keep McCarthy and get assets for Darnold. Because letting him quote walk for nothing sucks.
Yeah.
And the whole, do we owe it to Sam to let him just go out and hit free agency and get a deal? I think we do, but that's the way to do it, is you tag him and say, we'll trade you wherever you want to go, assuming that, the team that wants to dance with us and give up equity. That's still the way to let him get paid, let him go be the star somewhere else, but still us get assets in return. I don't know. You can't be wrong about the quarterback.
Because
if you get draft picks and if you're swapping and doing all this and Mason Graham this and all that's great, but next year if McCarthy sucks or if Darnold regresses, then we're right back to not mattering again anyway.
Or if you let Darnold walk and he's still great and McCarthy's good, you're fired. Not the head coach, but the GM. I mean, this is a huge decision to make.
I don't know. When Darnold went down yesterday and had that like brief little ankle deal where he came up hobbled. I mean, that to me, that's the one worry I have, and you got to have somebody in the backup role and that is competent. And who knows if JJ is that guy, because we don't know yet. But I would worry about not having any sort of insurance policy if Darnold goes down or whoever we have. Just
what if we traded JJ McCarthy for Shawn Mendes?
Oh my!
Straight up.
I mean, the world might explode.
Well, if it's straight up, then I'm not interested.
Including guys that are going to be Hall of Famers. How many coaches would you take ahead of KOC? Because you asked the question, which means my guess is you have an opinion.
I mean, currently,
like Andy Reid, yes or no?
I mean, so when I was driving here, I thought of that question, and that is the name I came up with. Is Andy Reid the kind of guy that, like, I think the current Vikings could beat the Chiefs right now? That doesn't make KOC immediately a better coach.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. Is Andy Reid elite if Patrick Mahomes isn't the quarterback?
Well, that's every coach in the history of coaches. Again, look at Bill Belichick without Tom Brady, and Bill Belichick's the greatest coach of all time.
I think
look at Phil Jackson without Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Scottie Pippen, and Michael Jordan. My guess is he wouldn't have been that good.
I mean,
that's how it works.
I think it might only be Andy Reid.
I mean, man, this is a hardcore sports conversation.
Thank you.
I would still take KOC if you factor in the salary and the fact that you can have him for 20 more years as opposed to Andy Reid's run out of. So I guess if you truly said today, which one would you rather have? I'd take KOC because of price and age.
Yeah, that's a great point.
That doesn't mean he's better than Andy Reid. Andy Reid's clearly more accomplished, but still.
It feels
they're
like
both guys you can win with. That's my point, right?
Well said,
There's variance. We make it sound like you have to make the right choice and that's the only way you win. Once you're good enough to have a quarterback that's good enough and a coach that's good enough, that's the combo you need. You have to have a winning coach and a winning quarterback, and then you just spin the old roulette wheel and see which number it lands on.
Well said. It feels like this could be like this KOC Vikings relationship could be very Tomlin Steelers like.
You are correct.
That would be great.
2 out of the 3 years, more than 13 wins. I mean, this is he's proven himself already in the first 3 years with. Obviously Kirk and that was a great quarterback situation, but this is absurd. This is why they play the game. This is why we do like sports, is because of these incredible anomalies that we have seen with this 2024 Minnesota Vikings squad led by Kevin O'Connell, who only has 2 L's in his name and 2 L's in the season so far.
God.
Well played,
Did you just come up with that, or did you see that on Twitter?
I did come up with that just now.
That's good.
Wild news presented by Catalyst Supply and CatalystSupplyCo.com. You can boost your build, you contractors out there in the Twin Cities, with our friends at Catalyst. The Wild host Chicago tonight at 7 o'clock. They have lost 5 of their last 6 and 4 straight, including a 5-0 loss to Winnipeg on Saturday. That was not good. In those 5 losses, let's see if Zachary can get this. Zach, you're a big hockey fan, correct?
Yes, but I can't get it.
Zach, in those 5 losses.
Sure.
I'll give you the first part. The opposing teams have scored 23 goals in those 5 games that we've lost, out of the 5 of the last 6. In those 5 losses, how many goals total have the Wild scored in their last 5 losses?
Nothing at Winnipeg. 1 at Utah. Or versus Utah. I think they had a couple. So 3. My guess is like 5 or 6.
23-5 in those 5 losses.
Hideous.
23-5. After tonight, Christmas break, so they are off until Friday at the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, and that's interesting because the mandatory 3-day break, they have to basically fly to Dallas day of and play. So that's going to be another tough test on the road. Disappointing, obviously, stretch of games here for the team. They're trying to stop the bleeding, and maybe that holiday party or whatever they had yesterday, and maybe some more team bonding can help that. But again, it's just I can't stress enough. When you have Middleton out, when you have Eriksson out, when you're playing guys that are still developing, that were, playing in front of I don't know how many people are down in Iowa, but not 18,000. And they're meant to be developing, not in the show, and playing some serious minutes. It's just tough. It's tough. So the good news is Kirill Kaprizov doesn't seem to be discouraged. He's, with the exception of Saturday, still putting points on the board. The discouraging fact is, I think it's been, I don't know how many periods now since the last time the Wild scored without Kirill Kaprizov on the ice. And that's a big concern. I mean, obviously, depth is always going to be, especially with the cap hit, but they just need some more guys to develop, to step up. Thank goodness they got that cushion built early in the season because, this has not been a fun week for the Minnesota Wild Hockey Club.
Draisaitl leads the league in goals with 24. Kirill just 2 back with 22. Nylander's got 23. So Kirill's tied for third in the NHL with 22 goals. We'll do What Really Matters after this. Ben Lieber joins in about 20 minutes. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on The Fan.
The Fan.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, what really matters? Scores and stats around the world of sports in between. Sauce will change your life with Christmas facts.
You are correct, sir.
Lieber will be here in about 20 minutes, so we'll go super hard with the Vikings in a little bit. But let's go around the other sports, shall we? For example, the Minnesota Timberwolves continue to struggle. They lost to the Golden State Warriors 113-103 on, what was that, Saturday night, I think?
Hideous.
They've lost 2 in a row. They are at Atlanta tonight at 6:30. The Wolves are 14-13, but they are favored over the 14-15 Atlanta Hawks. Then they're... They play Christmas Day. It doesn't feel like it this year, right? But they are a Christmas Day game. They are at Dallas on Christmas Day at 1:30.
Yep.
Whoops. What really matters, though, is this.
What do you think is the most recorded Christmas song?
Jingle Bells. Or White Christmas. One of the two.
I was going to say Jingle Bells.
Silent Night.
Ah, damn it.
It has accumulated over 733 recorded versions since 1978. Silent Night Wales. By the right person, Silent Night by Nat King Cole is a 10 out of 10.
Who else could do it well?
I think Barbra Streisand does one that's good.
And?
Bing Crosby does a good Silent Night. And I think Sinatra does a good one too. Christmas music
so
has...
nobody in the last 50 years, though.
No, and I've said this. When we listen to Christmas music at home, older Christmas music is the best Christmas music. None of the new stuff is, you know what I mean? That's what makes it feel like Christmas to me. Not that the new stuff's bad, but it's got to be
anti-Mariah Carey?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I would never go out of my way to listen to Mariah Carey. It's got to be, Nat King Cole, Bing Crosby, Andy Williams, Barbara, all that stuff is sweet.
God, you're old.
I am. So are you, though.
So true. Ricky Henderson died over the weekend. He died on Friday at age 65. The family did not announce a cause of death, but there's a bunch of other outlets that are saying that he died due to complications from pneumonia. Best leadoff hitter in Major League Baseball history. He also is the all-time leader in stolen bases, unintentional walks, leadoff home runs, and career runs. What a freak. Played 25 seasons from the 79 season all the way through 03. He also had, how about this for a number? I'm not a huge baseball stat guy, right? A lot of us know the home run records. Take a shot at this one, Zachary and Sauce. Ricky Henderson has the single season steals record. He set it in 1982. How many steals did he have in 1982?
182 games.
62.
162.
162 games.
180.
I was going to go maybe like 110.
Right in the middle. 130. Wow. 130. So 10-time All-Star, again, all-time leader in stolen bases, unintentional walks, runs, and leadoff home runs. But in 2009, when he entered the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, only got 94.8% on his first ballot. There were a handful of people that did not vote for him. And yes, before you even asked, Paul, Lavelli Neal was one of them.
Lavelli Neal
did not vote for Ricky Henderson on the first ballot.
Wow.
Ricky also famously talked in the third person, which is insane to do.
Yeah. Did you watch the Wolves game over the weekend when they had that 25-minute? So they had a 25-minute delay during the beginning of the Wolves game because the net got knocked off, and it's not like a net that, you know, we had as kids where you would just hook it back onto the latch and move on. There's this bendy ring that goes around it that it has to loop in between, and then it's got this mechanism that locks it in place. It took 25 minutes for them to do that. Well, as they're telling that, Jim Pete's telling the story because they were just tap dancing for 25
minutes. So Michael Grady and Jim Peterson are? Did Marnie have to get in the mix and tap dance?
No, it was just the two of them. Tap dance for 25 minutes. And during that 25 minutes, Jim Pete starts telling the story. I think it's when they were in Sacramento. I don't remember where they were, but Ricky Henderson is sitting courtside at the game. And Jim Pete talks about how when he was a rookie when he played in Golden State, that Ricky would come to a lot of games and he would introduce himself. So he said, at this game, whenever it was a couple years ago, Ricky's sitting courtside. Jim Pete walks up to him, reminds him who he is, says all these bits. And Jim Pete says, as I walk away, I hear the guy next to him go, "Who was that?" And Ricky goes, "No idea," right? So they found the video. And you see Jim Pete walk up, do the bit, say hello, and you watch Ricky mouth. I have no effing clue who that was. It's just brilliant.
Even though Jim had just reintroduced himself.
I
used to play for the Warriors
when he was
met
in Oakland
20 years ago.
Yeah, all of it. And the guy leans over and goes, "Who was that?" And Ricky just looks and
That's
goes,
pretty good.
"I have no effing idea." It was just brilliant the way it was set up by Grady and Jim Pete, and then all the people working behind the scenes of the Wolves. Excellent bit.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What really matters, though, is this.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer almost had a different name. Rolo and or Reginald.
Oh, Reginald's terrible. But Rolos are awesome candies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Big Rolo fan. That would have been really good for Rolo. But when did Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer get released as a Christmas animated special? And then when was Rolo the candy introduced? What was first? Because if Rolo the candy was around first, that would have been gigantic for them to have it named Rolo.
1937 for Rolo.
Okay, well then Rolo was out first.
Yeah, Rolo was first, right?
Yeah, because I think
1964.
I was going to say 60s felt right. 64. Tough break for Rolo.
Yeah. Poor Rolo.
Not a lot of Reginalds walking around anymore unless you're about 60. Right, there's some Reggies. I guess your legal name would be Reginald. Man, that's a rough first name. And that's coming from a guy whose name is Cory. Right? Just terrible.
Yeah.
Brutal.
What kind of names did they call Rudolph back in the day? Because obviously, I mean, that
bunch of slurs.
That bullying anthem.
Bunch of slurs.
Well, he's got a red nose. Bunch of racist reindeer.
Oh,
didn't like it.
Used to laugh and call him names. And then all the guy wanted to do, because he was born with a pretty significant birth defect, but ended up being an advantage later. But all he wanted to do was play games, and they wouldn't let him do it. You know, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, you're all terrible, terrible people.
Well, again, according to the old animated special, the real jerk was you-know-who.
Yeah.
Right? He said to Rudolph's dad, "You should be embarrassed."
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's a rough special, man.
Yeah, it is. Tough lessons back in the 60s, though. They didn't sugarcoat anything.
No, they coated it with acid.
But in the end, they realized how great he was.
I guess he's the greatest of them all.
When you're desperate, you're gonna screw up your entire job if you don't get help from somebody like that.
Yeah.
Rudolph bailed him out.
Yeah, Rudolph wails.
Reggie would have showed up. Rolo would have showed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank God that Christmas Eve was foggy. Otherwise, Rudolph would still be terrorized by his cohorts.
He'd be sitting in a
the
bar
North Pole.
smoking cigarettes, talking about it.
All the time.
And Santa used the abominable snowman once he didn't have teeth for
Oh, my God.
the worst possible reasons.
What is wrong with you?
You thought it. Is it my turn?
Santa or Mrs. Claus?
Either.
That's odd.
The college football playoff bracket is now down to 8. Number 5, Texas, crushed number 12, Clemson. So Texas is going to take on Arizona State. That's the 5-4. Number 8, Ohio State, boat race, as you like to say. Number 9, Tennessee, 42-17. So number 1, Oregon will take on number 8, Ohio State. That's a monster game. That'll be fun. Number 6, Penn State just completely crushed SMU. That was fun while it lasted, 38-10. Penn State versus number 3, Boise State. I don't know how I feel about that game.
I think Penn State is a 10.5-point favorite.
Think about that.
Yeah.
And then number 7, Notre Dame. Actually, this game wasn't even as close as it looked. Indiana got really hot in the final, 4 minutes to make it look closer. But 27-17, they beat number 10, Indiana. So Notre Dame takes on number 2, Georgia. So the top 8 seeds remain. And there's Mussy.
That was fun. That was fun. Fun day of football. Obviously, it would have been nice if it was closer, but just seeing the Penn State crowd and doing the afternoon whiteout out there, and it was chilly. It was fun. We had some, opportunities for snow games too that didn't end up panning out, but it felt really cool to watch all that and be a part of a new tradition. In a game that's been around for 100+ years, I would imagine this playoff will be around for another 100 years.
Thank you for your honesty.
But what really matters is this.
Candy canes date back to when?
I would guess like the 1700s.
Zacho?
1705.
They were an homage to shepherd's hooks. True story.
That's a initials thing?
Yeah.
They date back to 1670.
1670. Hi, Michael J. Mussman.
What's going on, guys?
All right, so settle the internet debate that I saw last week.
Yeah.
You guys candy cane fans in general, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But you've had one, right?
Yeah. I don't like the really big ones.
Shocking.
I don't like the shape. They're hard to eat.
All right, well, here's the old debate that pops up almost every year, but it was...
Stick or hook?
Exactly. Which side do you start with, the stick end or the hook end?
I'm more of a stick end.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. That way I can just kind of have it hook around my...
Yeah.
My
I go
there.
hook.
Yeah.
I start hook.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
I do also like to just break them up and then just eat the pieces.
That's the psycho choice.
No, I can take it the way I want it.
But the whole point is, if you break it up in a whole bunch of pieces, then how do you hold it? Right? If you start with the hook or start with the stick, then at least you have something to hold on to.
You have digits that are at the end of your hand.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you break it,
you buy it.
What do you do? What do you do with the other pieces while you break it?
You just nibble on them. They're in the bag still.
No,
yeah, I used to think I know you, right? Like, if somebody would have
I didn't know that this was the tipping point.
If somebody would have said, like, do you have a pretty good grasp on must? I'd be like, totally. Yep, totally understand must. Now, like 6-7 years later, I'm like, I don't understand anything that you do.
You're not old enough, though, or maybe you are. Do you remember rock candy?
Love it.
Yeah, of course.
Love rock candy.
But it'd be at your grandma's house, and it would just be those hard, sharp edges, and they'd all be just collected together and just seized together in the bowl, and you had to pick one away, and you're just like, hurts my mouth. Well, just suck on it for a while.
Whoa.
Boss,
what?
You're coming in fiery.
Yeah, take it down a notch.
Now, I know it's the day before Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve, and you are very sexual today.
Thank you.
I like to just let the hook just sit in my mouth.
Zach,
that's surreal. I'm not trying. No, because
knows.
you eat the hook.
Yeah, like getting fish hooked.
Yeah,
right.
Correct. Yeah. And then you still have the handle to slowly chomp away like it's a
you like the
candy
bulge,
mozzarella stick.
You like the bulge in the side of your mouth.
Well, it's kind of fun,
Yeah.
You
brings back memories.
Pretend you're a fish
Zach.
in the water.
In the water?
You are the honey hole, my friend.
The Detroit Lions whooped the Bears 34-17. That is the 9th straight loss for the Chicago Bears. But yet again, Caleb Williams, no interceptions.
Yeah, he fumbled a lot, though.
But still, 334 yards, 2 touchdowns. This streak of losing despite not throwing picks is something that is almost impossible. You know how hard it is to lose 9 straight games without throwing an interception?
It's almost mathematically
It's
impossible.
freakish.
Yeah.
They are 4-11. On the flip side, though, the Lions are 13-2, tied with the Vikings. Forget the tiebreakers for now because we're going to swear off in 2 weeks. But that is the franchise record 13th win. First time the Lions in their history have won 13 games in a season. If you're a Lions fan and you're listening, KOC's done it twice in 3 years. Pretty standard around here.
Yeah, and probably
Welcome
had a
aboard.
good chance at doing it in the second year of his tenure had Cousins not got hurt. When Cousins was on an MVP-like season, he doesn't get hurt. You don't have to do that carousel of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It could have been possible.
That's a great point.
But wasn't their record something like
1-5
yeah,
or something?
they were terrible with Kirk record-wise.
Caught fire and then he got hurt.
Yeah, he was trending the right way big time. And then we had the Dobbs experiment, which was fun for about a week and a half. Paul, your hands up.
Quick, one more sports question because I like talking sports.
Yeah.
Easy, simple yes or no answer. Will Kirk Cousins start again somewhere?
Yes.
It's the NFL, yes.
Yep.
There's just too many teams that do need quarterbacks.
I think you're right.
What really matters is this.
This is a horrible opinion, but I think Cory shares the same opinion with me.
We'll see.
It's a Wonderful Life, terrible film.
What?
No, that's not wrong.
It's a heave
Right.
cry and awesome. It's a classic. Are you kidding me?
I have seen it 0 times, so I don't know.
Zero?
It was a box office flop.
Yes.
It wasn't until 1974 when its copyright expired and television networks could air it for free.
Explain it. Why is it bad?
I've seen it one time and I hated it.
Why?
Because it made you sad?
No, I just...
Is it because it was just too slow?
Do you have a reason?
No, I don't have a reason. I don't need a reason to hate it. I just hate it.
It's an
Okay, I've
absolute
only seen it
classic.
once. It's probably great.
No, it is really
I
good.
shouldn't.
You wait, yeah. When you have your son,
Hog's Daddy loves it.
then you're going to be
Very long.
Yeah.
It's very
long?
long. It's like 3 hours long.
The movie's not that long, but it just runs slower just because that was the era.
Hey, one more, and I want to know if Cory knows this, and this is a giveaway because it's Christmas facts from the Pioneer Woman.
From the Pioneer Woman?
She's an excellent, excellent cook. Some of her recipes are A+.
Paul, your hands up.
The Pioneer Woman, Woodhawk.
He's not even here. Yeah.
But does she truly do the pioneer thing?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
she doesn't bathe for like a week
No, I don't-
and then
that wouldn't
that's
turn
not
out.
gonna stop.
That won't stop him. I bet you know this because of initials. What was the first song played in space?
See, I would have guessed Silent Night for that, but that's got to be Jingle Bells.
Correct. Yeah, it was played December 16th, 1965.
I remember that. That's cool.
You weren't alive then.
Or was I? Ding, ding, ding.
Who is, what company has played the biggest role in shaping the image of Santa?
Coca-Cola.
You are correct, Zacho.
They realized that Coca-Cola was a summer drink because people would go out, you'd go to the soda pop shop on the old Main Street.
The old bottles, yeah.
Right.
25 cents and then have it roll out. And just
So it used to
pop
be like associated with, on a hot summer day, cold, crisp, refreshing. Well, then in the wintertime, their sales dipped and they're like, oh, how do we get the sales back up in the wintertime? And they went hardcore into Christmas. That's why you got the polar bears drinking the pop.
Well, way to go, Lemonade. You blew your opportunity.
Yeah.
Coke beat you to it.
Yep.
Way to go, Iced Tea. Not that one. The drink.
Yeah, good point.
Fun facts.
I do
Great
love
job.
lemonade. Maybe that's why that gal the other day on Wheel of Fortune guessed lemonade eggnog, and Creasel and I laughed.
I love
the answer
how
was
much
homemade eggnog.
You and
she
Creasel
guessed
love that.
Lemonade?
Eggnog.
As if that she's ever had that.
Right.
Yep.
Because that pops into your head and you're like, well, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. I've had that before. Lemonade.
Yeah, she me exhausted.
Yeah, it's
Ben
okay.
Lieber should be here in a second. Michael J. Mussman III already is. We'll talk Vikings in a second. Zach, are you going to go through the news when we get back?
Sure, yeah, I got
All right,
it.
Zacho's got the news covered. This is the Power Trip Morning Show. Fan.
The Fan.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. People always say it's good to unwind, but that's easier said than done. The exception, Chumba Casino. They actually make it easier done than said, or at least the same. Chumba Casino is an online social casino with hundreds of casino-style games like slots and blackjack. Play for fun. Play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Sign up now and collect your free welcome bonus at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
You wake up, put on your Ray-Ban Meta glasses. You're living all in. You realize you need coffee. So you say,
"Hey, Meta, how do I make a latte?"
Brew 2 shots of espresso.
After Meta AI gets you caffeinated, you're ready for some beats.
Hey, Meta, play hip-hop music.
You head to meet some friends, but can't remember the place.
Hey, Meta, call Eva.
Ray-Ban Meta glasses, the next generation of AI glasses. Just say, hey, Meta, to harness the power of Meta AI. Shop now at meta.com/smartglasses.
Upgrade your holiday entertainment with the Vizio 5.1 soundbar, now just $198 on Amazon. Enjoy immersive audio with 3 full-range speakers, 2 surround speakers, and a wireless subwoofer. Plus, with Dolby Atmos, you'll experience sound that flows all around you. Listen to your favorite holiday songs on North Pole Radio with iHeartRadio in no time, thanks to Vizio's easiest setup ever. Whether it's a gift for someone special or an upgrade for yourself, the Vizio 5.1 soundbar makes the season sound spectacular. Get yours for $198 on Amazon today.